Warning, the following discussions may include spoilers. You have been warned. Use the time card below if you want to avoid discussions on certain games. Okay, let's just jump into the discussion. We're back to do another long-form discussion over Switch-related things. Last time we discussed E3 predictions, and so we're taking it back, and we're looking at the Switch as a whole in the past 4.5 or so years. I mean, I guess technically we could really start the discussion before the Switch even came out. I mean, NX rumors went way far back. I mean, when did they first...
It wasn't announced like a year after the Wii U came out or something ridiculous like that.
It was pretty damn early in the Wii U's life cycle, because I think they could tell early on that, like, yeah, the Switch was, or the the Wii U was kind of a mega flop.
Yeah, the Wii U sucked. We can already tell that the Switch is terrible.
Yeah, dude. So, I don't remember when exactly the NX was announced, but we got the first reveal of the Switch. It was October 2016. So, I guess we can just run us down how everyone felt about the initial reveal of the Switch, and then we can just kind of move forward in the timeline from there.
Yeah, I know for me, like, the whole hybrid handheld home console thing was leaked ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. There were leaks of it being like the controller is a screen and you just take the controller with you.
I mean, leading up to the reveal, I remember I guess the most infamous leak, in my opinion, was the fucking fake mock-up that someone made of the Nintendo console. It's like, it was the oval console with the controllers built into the screen. You remember that shit? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure like Etika got a hold of that for some reason, and was like, oh, I got it, bro.
Yep, I remember that.
And then he did that again with the actual Switch. That was ridiculous. But, yeah, I mean, the hybrid aspect of the console is definitely leaked way far ahead. I mean, I think it was, Emily Rogers that was reporting on the hybrid aspect of the console. So I remember when it dropped, I was in the middle of class, and I literally was like, fuck, I didn't bring my headphones today. Fuck, how am I gonna watch this? And so I fucking asked the teacher to borrow these shitty pair of like over-the-ear headphones.
Oh, are you talking about like the original Switch presentation?
I'm talking about the like,
reveal?
2 or 3 minute reveal. Yeah. So I didn't know what I was going into. I didn't know it was just gonna be background music. But yeah, I definitely remember feeling very happy, and honestly, when it first came out, I'm sure you remember this, Xander, I was kind of skeptical about the legitimacy of some of the footage we were seeing, just because it seemed a little too good to be true.
Yeah, you're looking at it, you're like, this is like a portable PS4. This can't, come on.
Yeah.
Which obviously it isn't, but
Not
it looked
quite.
like it. It looked really good, and it is impressive, honestly, still.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember I was in class when the trailer dropped, or we was right before one of our classes when I was in Maine, and me and my classmates watched the trailer live, and there was just a big debate between whether it was going to be good or not in my host family. So that was a fun, oh boy, that was a fun debate.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta keep in mind that point in Nintendo's history was pretty fucking depressing. I mean, we're coming off the back of what? Paper Mario Color Splash? Mario Tennis Ultra Smash? Like, not hard hitters. And so, I think in the back of everyone's mind is like, dude, whatever the fucking NX is, it better be good or else Nintendo might be in deep shit. I mean, I remember there were talks about Nintendo going handheld only for a while, which...
There were talks of Nintendo going third party only and just becoming a new Sega.
Yeah, that I don't think was ever gonna happen.
I remember, like, around that time, MatPat had Reggie on for, like, that debate thing he had.
The deadlock, oh.
That was cringe.
I saw that, I'm like, yeah.
Imagine having Reggie Fils-Aimé on, and that's how you spend your time, asking stupid questions like that.
You know, to be fair, though, they did kind of go portable only.
That's what I was gonna say, is like, in a sense, like, yeah, they did. But, you know, it's a hybrid. And I would say the best Switch experience, well, it's hard to say. The magic of the Switch is definitely portable mode. playing Breath of the Wild, holy shit, like, awesome.
But like the fun in the Switch is docked mode.
No, I would say the fun is still portable, but I would say the Switch visually holds up best in docked mode, and I think a lot more. You can see a lot more of the cracks when you're playing portably when it comes to things like frame rate and shit like that.
If I'm gonna be honest, I rarely ever play portable.
Yeah, I just don't. I bring it to friends' houses who has a dock.
Yeah, well, that's really nice, honestly. The fact that, yeah, you took care of your whole system around. Like, if I brought my GameCube over back in the day, I gotta bring my fucking, like, everything.
But that's what I was gonna say. It's reminiscent of like how you could just take a memory card out of the GameCube and bring it to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Because like with Animal Crossing, you plug in 2 memory cards and you can visit each other's towns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
After the Switch was revealed, obviously we got the big January 2017 conference, and that was when we really learned more specifics about the Switch. I mean, we were introduced to HD Rumble, which I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that, especially 4 years later, because who fucking cares?
I'm so happy that I can go back and play 1-2 Switch, and that's it.
The only thing that was cool about that I've seen was Kirby Star Allies, where if you beat the final level, it took you to like a remake of the very first Kirby level, and it played the music via Rumble through the Joy-Cons. That was cool. They've done nothing like that since. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, the haptic feedback triggers in the PS5 is so much better than anything HD Rumble has.
Yeah, it's honestly not even comparable. Which, I mean, granted, you gotta consider this is 2017, it was innovative at the time, but I think where Nintendo really fucked up, maybe, is how I should just say it so I can pronounce the word, is the fact that 1-2 Switch wasn't a bundle-in.
Oh my god. I remember Logan bought it and he's like...
It was like $50.
He's like, I got this because this is gonna be rare, because no one's gonna buy it.
The other thing about HD Rumble is, I mean, it works best if you have Joy-Cons, but I don't use Joy-Cons for a very specific reason that would happen later down the line. But a Pro Controller the Rumble feels different than Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I mean, outside of 1-2 Switch, the only other game, you said Kirby, the only other game I can really think that has noticeable HD Rumble is like Mario Odyssey with some specific moons. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna be honest, it just feels like a different Rumble. It doesn't feel very like HD in the sense that like, wow, I really feel like I'm feeling the haptics of the game.
Those specific moons you're talking about, it's not even really HD Rumble either, because even if it was normal Rumble, it would have worked. It's just like, it rumbles really hard when you're over a moon, and that's it. That could have worked with regular Rumble. The
GameCube had Rumble, like that pirate ship minigame in Mario Party 6, where you have to pull up chests from it. The Rumble gets stronger the closer you get to it. It's like...
Holy shit, right. You're right.
They did that same game again in Super Mario Party, where you get the big fish when it rumbles harder. You're like, it's the same thing.
I mean, I think you can really tell Nintendo kind of gave up on the appeal of Rumble because the Switch Lite has none. And I feel like that really was a huge blow in the innovations that developers could have, because you have to keep in mind, well, I can't have the game rely on Rumble-specific features because it needs to be compatible with the Switch Lite, or it needs to be compatible. It doesn't need to be, but you need to keep in mind, some people might have third-party controllers that don't have Rumble, you know? And it's like, it sucks, because I remember watching developer interviews with the Breath of the Wild team, with, you know, Eiji Aonuma and all of them, and they were talking about how they wanted to implement HD Rumble in Breath of the Wild 2, since they weren't going to be tied to the Wii U anymore. And it's like, well, now they really can't. I mean, if they wanted to do something so specific with Rumble that they felt they couldn't do it because the Wii U also existed, then they're going to have that same problem with the Switch Lite. So...
just makes no sense. Yeah. Makes just about as much sense as the 4 versions of the 2DS did. It's just like, you're hampering the potential of other games you could put on the original system this way. Which, the 2DS made even less sense, because there were already games that were dependent on the 3D by the time they put out the 2DS.
Kind of. I never used the 3D anyway.
I didn't either. The only thing I can really think about in that is like 3D Land had like 1 or 2 medals. Yeah.
I thought there was one of those in like every stage or something like that.
No. It was like the first stage is all I can think of. What else did they talk about in that conference, though?
They had the announcements. They announced like Super Mario Odyssey officially, Splatoon 2. We got the reveal of ARMS.
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which at the time I was almost done with my blind playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles.
I was so mad during that reveal because I was in history class sitting next to Logan as it was playing live, and I didn't have headphones. I'm like, I just want to watch it when I get home and have no spoilers. And Logan turns to me and goes, "Oh my god, Xenoblade 2!"
Oh, no.
I'm like, you mother...
no!
That's really funny, because he's definitely the motherfucker who does not give a shit about Xenoblade.
Right? He said that because he knew I love Xenoblade so much.
He was just like, dude, that is so Logan. Oh my gosh.
I mean, obviously he didn't do it on purpose. Like, he didn't know that I was avoiding it.
So Logan. That is so Logan.
Premiered in like the evening, though. Like,
that was part of the original Switch Direct, wasn't it?
The January
Xenoblade
one?
2, like the first one.
That was during... No, that was
January
early.
presentation was in like evening. I remember it was like 7 or 8 o'clock.
No, it was definitely in the morning.
I skipped school. I skipped school for it. I'm pretty sure it was in the morning.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was 3rd hour, I think.
No, it was...
Yeah.
No, 2nd hour.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure because I remember.
Oh wait, because it was a Japanese event. I think it was really late at night.
Oh, I'm talking about the English one.
They premiered at the same time.
They had a translator.
Xander's right. Xander's right. They did have a translator. He was very funny.
He was very well. They had 2 translators. One that started off really well, and then the replacement one was like, I don't know what happened. I want to know the story behind that. But
I'm pretty sure we got some insight on that. I don't remember the specifics, but god damn, he was funny. He just made it was already like kind of an awkward and slow part of the conference because they were talking to like Pseudo 51 and like Sega developers and shit like that. So it was just a bunch of translation work, and he was not good at it. He was not good at it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so yeah, we got Xenoblade 2. We got Mario Odyssey's official reveal. They actually, if I recall correctly, we never actually saw the main gimmick of the game in that trailer. They hid Cappy away from us, which I thought was pretty...
Well, yeah, they teased Cappy at the end, but they showed Mario throwing his hat. He just didn't have eyes.
I remember when I first saw those eyes show up, this was the same day me and Adam had gone home to watch it on my big screen at home. And I see those eyes show up, and I got so pissed.
You got
so sick of them sticking eyes on everything in Mario, and I'm just like, why does his hat have eyes? I didn't recognize that it was a new character.
Well,
I just thought they slapped eyes on Mario's hat.
That's my point, is they didn't show us the capturing mechanic in that trailer. Yeah. That was an alright trailer. I remember that one was really, the controversy was like, humans in a Mario game? Is this the Sonic 06 of Mario? Has Nintendo lost their minds?
Yes, because humans was the problem with Sonic 06.
And it sparked a million conspiracy theories whether Mushroom Kingdom natives and humans are 2 separate species.
Oh my goodness.
And then Nintendo was like,
Mario's
what are you talking about?
There are different types and shapes of humans on this planet. Mario is just a different type.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, I do recall, I mean, I like the second trailer they dropped for Mario Odyssey much more. That was great.
I do like that one GTA parody trailer they made of the first one that went viral.
Who made that? It was made by the guy that makes all the like disaster console launches videos.
I know the ending trailer for the Switch presentation is probably one of my favorite Nintendo trailers of all time.
Holy shit, yeah.
The Breath of the Wild trailer? Holy
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
that made it
gosh.
seem like such an epic game.
When your
fuck
trailer
yeah.
theme gets a remix in Smash Bros, you know you've done something special.
Well, what I love about that is that song never appears in the game.
No, it
Like
doesn't.
we didn't have a clean rip of that song until they released the entire soundtrack on CD. So yeah, the only way to listen to it was through like people trying to the soundtrack, but before then it was like either watch the trailer or like some people tried to like
Recreate
clean
it.
up the audio and recreate it, yeah.
Like,
Which is crazy because it's so good.
I still love that the official song title is The Breath of the Wild. Or no, it's called the Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017 BGM.
Yeah, January 2017 BGM.
Yep.
It's like they made the song specifically for the last trailer.
And that's what it's called in Smash Bros as well, which is awesome.
That trailer makes me so excited for Breath of the Wild 2, where we finally get to have a game where the story's happening in real time.
Every time I watch that trailer, even to this day, like, I get fucking chills. The point where, like, Zelda starts crying and the music just cranks up to 11.
Yep.
Holy shit.
It's so good.
Fucking good.
The main theme, like, it was. I watched that trailer on repeat, like, so many times.
That trailer sold me on the game. I did not give a fuck about Breath of the Wild.
Trailers that focus on plot are the easiest way to get me hyped.
And it's annoying because I know we've talked about this off camera before, but like, it's kind of a misleading trailer. It is so cutscene heavy that you think the story plays a bigger role in the game-to-game moment than it really does. But thankfully, it was still a really great game anyways. It just makes me hope that Breath of the Wild 2 envisions more of the emotions and atmosphere of that trailer in the actual game itself instead of relying completely on cutscenes. I'm trying to think if we had anything else in the trailer other than game announcements, like more hardware specific things, but
I think the only other thing is, like, they announced that they were going to have a paid online service, which at the time I got, like, I was living with a host family who was primarily Microsoft, like, gamers. And so they're like, man, you have to pay for an online subscription for Nintendo? I'm like, so you guys have to pay for Xbox Live? Like, it's triple the price and this is cheaper. We didn't know what it would become, but at the time I was like, this isn't a big deal. And I was like, then the other thing was like, oh man, $60 or like $70 for a controller. I'm like, that's the same price as a PS4 controller. Like, this isn't outrageous. This is standard.
Well, it is outrageous.
It is
but
outrageous,
it is also standard.
But it's also, yeah.
I mean, I think the DualSense is like $80, or maybe it's 70 as well. But
I thought the DualSense was like 90.
No, I think it's 70. Yeah, but in hindsight, when it comes to the Switch Online, it is ridiculous. We have to pay for it because
It's just so terrible.
other than the classic system, catalog, the actual online service is basically unchanged. I mean, we get some shitty mobile like apps that we can talk to our selective friends on.
That we probably have their phone numbers anyways.
Or
when
Discords.
phone calls work better than the voice chat they provide anyways.
What's really annoying about that is that I mean, Discord publicly said on their Twitter, like, yeah, dude, we would love to integrate Discord with Nintendo Switch so that we could have an alternative so you could talk to your friends through, your Discord friends instead of Nintendo's shitty service. And Nintendo never, took their offer, and 4 years later, Sony announced that Discord is going to be integrated with the PS5.
That's gonna be, wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure when it's actually going to roll out, but it's
well, Nintendo's too busy sucking Microsoft's dick to partner with anyone else.
Yeah, I think we should just lead right into the Switch's launch, and then also, I mean, whether we bought it at launch or not, we should probably talk about our first impressions when we finally got a Switch.
Oh, man.
So I guess we should start. Did you guys get it at launch? Or?
I got mine the summer after launch. I know Logan got it at launch and he'd show me at school and we'd play it together, but the first time I actually, used it myself was... Well, no, the first time I owned it myself was I'm like, yo, can I have my birthday present like 4 months early, please? And they're like, you know what? Fine.
So I was still in Maine when the Switch launched, and not only was I in Maine, I had bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U. That was my first playthrough was on Wii U, and I went on a missions trip out of the country like a week before the Switch released, and the second week we were staying at a resort area, and so we had Wi-Fi. But I didn't want to go on YouTube because I didn't want spoilers for Breath of the Wild. So like, it was so frustrating. 3 weeks I had to wait after the Switch came out to finally at least play Breath of the Wild. But it wasn't until like July that I got a Switch, right around the launch of Splatoon 2.
Yeah, I have a similar story to DJ's. I got my Switch in April. We were at a Target. There was one Switch left in the display case. I turned to my mom. I'm like, can I buy that? I'm gonna have a summer job. And she's like, I don't have fucking money. So she literally called up Grandpa and was like, hey bro, he wants to buy this Switch. Can you spot me $300 and he'll pay you back? So I bought the Switch, but I was already lucky enough to like somehow get that to work. So I come home and I download the fucking Snipper Clips demo, and that's what I played for like a month until I could actually get a game. So I played the Snipper Clips demo. I fucking mastered that shit, alright? And my first game, of course, was Snipper Clips, and I played through all of that game by myself. Even the exclusive 2 to 4 player levels, I beat holding a Joy-Con in both hands and like switching back and forth so that I could get the levels completed.
That's insane.
Yeah, I played Breath of the Wild on Wii U as well, but I got it on Switch, I think in June, so it was during the summer. And honestly, replaying that game on a Switch was like an entirely different experience. I mean, it really signified to me the magic of a hybrid console, because during the day, you know, I would play it in handheld mode, in the living room, around the house, in the car, and then I would get home at night, dock it, and it was just fucking, it was amazing. It was great just listening to music or listening to a podcast and just going Korok hunting or shrine hunting. It was probably the most zen video game experience I've ever had.
It really, yeah. For me, I got my Switch on my birthday. I got birthday money ahead of time. And so we were having people over that day, and I was like, okay, let me look up online if Best Buy has any Switches in stock. They did, and we went. They didn't have one near us, so we drove half an hour to a Best Buy, waited about 45 minutes before they opened, and ran in and found someone like, hey, do you have a Nintendo Switch? And I'm like, oh, we do, but we can't sell them right now. I'm like, why? I'm like, well, we're bundling them with Splatoon 2, which releases on Friday. I'm like, great. Cool, I just drove half an hour because you said you had them in stock on your website. Great. So we ended up leaving, and Miles suggested, hey, there's a Target across the street. And I'm like, we can check, but they're probably not going to have them. They had one left. No, they had 3 left. They had 3 left. When we left, there was 1 left. But I felt like an idiot because I went up to the cashier there, or the guy in electronics. I was like, I see you have a Switch there. Is it for sale? And he's like, yes. We wouldn't display it if it wasn't for sale. I'm like, well, Best Buy did. And so Best Buy lost a sale that day and I got a Switch. But he was good at his job, and he's like, you're not going to get a game with your Switch because I wasn't planning on it. And I was like, no, I'm getting a Switch game for my birthday, so I'll have that. He's like, oh, if you're having a party, you need a party game. Why don't you get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? So I got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with my Switch.
That's what sold. You fucking own that shit on Wii U. What the hell?
What a salesman.
You're like, you bring a fair point. I really need to own this game twice. I'll
pick it up. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is not the same game. Going back to Mario Kart 8, I like it more, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is very different.
You like Mario Kart 8 more?
Yes, double items ruin that game.
What? I love double items.
Do you have Gold Mario unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why?
I do too. What's
I
I don't
hated
understand your point.
200cc.
What? 200cc was in the original.
No, the to unlock Gold Mario.
It wasn't.
Oh,
double
so
items.
you hate it because you're bad.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
200cc is the mode to play.
I feel like double items adds a lot more strategy to it. Even when Mario Kart is a relatively strategy light game, it adds just that little bit more.
Well, that's what I like
depth
about
to it.
what I like about 200cc is because there is actual strategy.
Yeah.
In 200cc, there's no strategy.
Yes, there is.
Oh my gosh, there is more strategy in 200cc than the 3 other modes combined.
Hearing you say that really does make me think you're just bad. Because
I
like
am bad.
200cc,
I am bad. I did not
there is
enjoy
strategy.
200cc.
I
Can we play Mario Kart?
right now? Yeah, fuck this. No, there's actual strategy. I mean, you just gotta make sure you brake while you drift.
But in 200cc, the CPU's AI is broken.
Nah, dude, I'm like almost lapping them.
No, it was really easy to get Golden Mario for me.
The most annoying
Sorry.
part of that game
I'm not trying
was...
to be an ass.
Yeah, I think Xander's bad. No, the hardest part about that game, or I should say the most annoying part, was just grinding for coins to get the golden
Oh
card
my god, I
pieces.
still haven't finished because I don't play offline.
I
haven't gotten everything because I don't play offline.
I literally just did coin runners for like fucking 5 hours straight.
Oh boy.
I found my cart set up and just stopped caring.
Yeah, I wanted to complete it, and it was also my second Switch game I owned. So there was a period where I had that and Snipper Clips and nothing else. So I was pretty thin pickings when it came to things I could actually play on my Switch for a while.
One thing I really don't like about Mario Kart 8, I will say though, is all of the coolest looking cars are the worst cars.
Yeah.
My favorite car in the Mario Kart series is the worst car in the game, and that makes me so sad.
I kind of wish that you could, like, it didn't really matter which car you had, that the stats were attached to something else.
Yeah, or like if you could, like they do in Xenoblade, you could set like which ones you want and then which ones you want them to look like. You know?
Yeah. That would be nice. I mean, I don't really care that much, but there were some cart pieces, like the Master Cycle. I was like, yeah, I'd love to use that, but I don't really like the handling on it, so I'm not going to.
Bike drifting is wonky as hell.
I mean, it's just inward and outward drifting. I prefer inward drifting, so that really limited my selection of carts, because I couldn't do anything that was like 4-wheel drive.
ARMS came out between Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon.
What came out?
ARMS. I played one campaign and I've barely touched it since.
Okay, on my notes page, I have right here in all caps, ARMS is underrated. I love the hell out of that game.
Xander would disagree, and I would also disagree.
Oh my god, I couldn't stop playing it. It's so much fun.
I liked ARMS, but as I did not have good internet at the time, so I couldn't play online matches, and by the time I got good internet, no one was playing it.
I'm so sad how quickly that game died. Like, you play now, you'll wait for 3 hours before you can get a match.
Whose fault is that? It's Nintendo's.
No one wants to pay for an online membership to play ARMS.
No, that's not the issue. It's because in my opinion, ARMS came out lacking a lot of content. And the updates they had, I think they should have focused more on modes instead of new characters. Because I don't think that was the problem with ARMS. You could have a small roster if the gameplay is enticing. And having one competitive mode was not enough.
I mean, Smash 64 had more modes than freaking...
Well, I mean, it had the fight, it had doubles, it had linked doubles, it had the basketball game, it had the volleyball game. The volleyball game was really
I thought
fun.
basketball was added later on.
No, that was
base.
base, but no one's playing competitive basketball in ARMS.
Still a fun party mode though, especially with the 2-player lobbies.
I think ARMS is commendable. I like the music. I think the character designs are very fun. The gameplay it's alright.
I thought it was great. I loved it. I loved all the different arms you could use and how they all counter each other. I liked it a lot.
I didn't understand or care to understand the competitive aspect when it came to selecting my arms. I kind of just stuck with what I liked. I thought the controls were good, but I still am not super used to like actually swinging my arms after I release them.
Oh, I never used motion controls. I hated them.
Well, I didn't either, but which made things even more difficult because honestly, motion controls do have a distinct advantage.
Yeah.
Because you can independently swing each arm, but yeah, I mean the game died so fast that there was really no reason to try to understand it. So
nowadays I hear the only way to get online matches with people is just to join Discords and be like, here's my lobby.
Yeah, which is sad because that's the same thing with Splatoon, and that game's way older and also has a sequel, while ARMS really should still have some sort of player base.
Yeah.
ARMS 2 coming soon.
Fucking please, I'm okay. Let's wait.
Splatoon 2. It came out. I got it.
I liked Splatoon 2.
It was pretty good.
I like the story mode, and I am still like level 12, 13, I think.
Jesus Christ.
What? Did you not play online at all?
No! I don't like Splatoon that much. The multiplayer is boring for me.
Bruh.
I loved the single player.
You said you're level 12. Did
Yes.
you even try ranked?
No. Actually, Ian, when I was at your place, we did my first ranked match. Like,
Please don't tell me you played like one game of clams and then said I hate this and never touched it again.
no, I just didn't care anymore. I beat the story and moved on to...
You're not playing Splatoon 2 for the story. I mean, like, you can enjoy that part, but it's definitely the gameplay that people play it for.
And it's definitely not Turf War, which is the best
I'm
mode.
not talking about the story itself. I'm talking about the story mode gameplay. Like, the platforming
That's
stuff.
just watered down multiplayer.
It's better, in my opinion.
Did you play Octo Expansion?
I did, yes, and I beat it. And it was one of my favorite parts of that game.
Okay.
It was extremely challenging, but...
I just don't get how you're gonna skip over 7/9 of the game.
7/9?
That's my rough
How
calculation.
did you just come up with that?
That's because it's like Octo Expansion and single player are both.
Ian, you had no internet all the time, and I had friends who gave it a shot in the first Splatfest, threw a fit that we couldn't be on the same team because we picked different sides, and then never played again.
Yeah, that is some fucking dumb shit.
I didn't have anyone to really play with.
Henry and Jason would never play it because they didn't like the motion controls. And I told them you can use sticks, but you're gonna be at a disadvantage, and they're like, that's so lame, I'm not playing this.
And Miles, who was into Splatoon, did not have a Switch, so we couldn't play together.
That's right. I love people that make that argument. Oh, they shouldn't have it at a distinct advantage. It's like, the distinct advantage is inherently because it's better to use motion controls.
Literally.
I mean, the advantage comes from your own preference. You know, if you prefer sticks, that's your advantage. But for people that are adjusted to motion controls, it is objectively more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate people, bro. I hate people. I really do.
Hear that, Jason? Screw you.
He ain't watching this video. He didn't watch the last one.
What do you mean? He left a comment. That means he saw the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Splatoon 2 came out. We all bought it. It sounds like we all played it, whether all of it or just a single player is, you know, left to your own devices on that one.
I played one Splatfest.
Yeah, I didn't care about the Splatfest in Splatoon 2 like I did in Splatoon 1, honestly.
Both Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, I liked the Splatfests a lot, but I missed the majority of them.
I played most every single Splatfest in Splatoon 1. Splatoon 2, I didn't care.
Am I crazy, or did they do a SpongeBob one?
They did.
They did. I didn't imagine that. Okay.
Yeah, they did a couple weird ones. They did like Optimus Prime versus the other fucking car.
Optimus Prime versus Toyota.
Toyota. Oh no.
Who will win? Oh my goodness.
Well, it's time to talk about Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
so.
I'm glad we're back to this subject, because I had something in my notes about just, I know it's nothing new, but like, oh my god, the Mario saturation. Like, off the top of my head, I was able to name Mario Kart 8, Mario Odyssey, Mario Tennis, Super Mario Party, Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 35, and Super Mario Maker 2. In the first 4 years.
Welcome to every single Nintendo console?
I know, but like,
what do you
come
mean?
on. Like, it's at a certain point,
we're not even near. We're not anywhere near how much Mario was on the GameCube.
I know. It's just, I said it's nothing new, but like, it's just a little silly, honestly.
Super Mario Odyssey, like, I was so. I got the game day one, but usually I pre-order games digitally, and then I play them the night before, thanks to time zones. And so I'll play them at 11 o'clock when they get unlocked here. And I got a deal with a friend of mine where he had like this discount where we could get copies of Super Mario Odyssey for $40. So we did that. But my game didn't arrive and he couldn't get it until like 8 o'clock that night. So I remember like avoiding spoilers all day and then after work going over to my friend's house to pick up my copy so I could play it. But it was such a slow day of avoiding the internet. But oh my gosh, that game. I hadn't felt this hyped for a video game in such a long time.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about Mario Odyssey as well. When it dropped, I was at Jace's house because his birthday landed a day before. So I didn't own it, but I watched him play it for like an hour or two, and I played it for a little bit. And I remember coming home from his house and be like, Mom, my birthday's in like a month. Can I just get this now? Because I remember Guylan also already got it because his birthday, I think he already had it, or like he was about to get it because obviously his birthday lands first. And so I was just like, bro, I want to play this shit now. Why do I gotta fucking wait? So I got it early as a birthday gift. I played through it, 100%ed it. I think, did you 100% it, DJ?
No, I'm still trying to get to Darker Side.
What?
Yeah.
Cringe. You can't knock him on Splatoon 2 and not play Darker Side.
I played the post game, I just didn't get to the ultra hard level that's at the end of every Mario game.
Nah, bro, you missing out on a secret final boss.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
What he did is the equivalent of me getting it to the to the first Luigi's Balloon World checkpoint and playing nothing but Luigi's Balloon World for the rest of the game.
Video game donkey moment.
But no, I beat Super Mario Odyssey in one sitting. I like stayed up till like 2 in the morning and just played through the whole thing. Like I got the bare minimum, but I remember playing it and and again, I think that has probably one of the best Mario stories. Like,
I think my vote for that goes to Galaxy.
I think Galaxy definitely has a more engaging story with Rosalina.
And the only Mario ending that's actually like sad.
I think for me, I guess the thing is like the story was more persistent because Galaxy's like you have the intro, then you kind of have filler for like most of the game, then you have a really strong ending.
That's not true.
Whereas,
they had the Rosalina like storybook shit that kind of filled you in.
That's true, but that's like past stuff. It's like Breath of the Wild storytelling.
Flood at the end of okay, like both Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine like are setting up a habit of 3D Mario games to kill off the companion character at the end of the game. Could you imagine that if at the end of Odyssey, Bowser just takes Cappy and rips him in half?
Oh, wait. No, fuck. That could have been a really fucking good like post-game mode. Like play through the entirety of it. All the moons, or not all the moons, but you know, like
without Cappy.
Without Cappy, so you have to rescue Cappy.
That would be interesting.
Because that really would have. I mean, like some of the moons obviously would have been impossible, but like no Cappy runs are feasible, right? Like that's an actual thing.
I don't think so.
Oh.
No, they are. There's like a few moons in the game that aren't possible with Cappy, but the most of them are.
I mean, obviously you would have to
glitches,
use Cappy to like for progression with the Odyssey.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Captureless is not possible.
You can do it with 2 captures, I think they've got it down to. Like, you only need 2 captures in the game to finish it.
That's still not possible.
Oh, 3. Because you have to do it to get to Cascade, you have to do it to get to the dragon, and you have to do it to finish the game.
Yeah, but they could rework it. What I'm saying is if they wanted to have a similar story where Cappy, like maybe Cappy sacrifices himself and I don't know, like maybe that would be kind of cool if the ending was like he throws Cappy's hat, or like Cappy, like, I don't know, captures Bowser to like try to, it's not really mind control though.
Yeah, I was confused in the end of that game. Cappy capturing Mario into Bowser captures Mario in Bowser and Peach into the light pole. How does that work?
Some question it, it's Mario.
Magic. I don't know. Mario Odyssey, though, definitely. I would not say it's my favorite Mario game of all time, and I definitely have my grievances with the game, but it definitely has some of the most hyped moments in Mario history.
God, that ending where you realize that you can capture Bowser was like one of the coolest aha moments ever.
And you get that one, you know, vocalized track that they hid away.
Oh.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that was, they outdid a Sonic vocal track. Mario outdid Sonic in his own game.
They did
such a good
They
song.
did the vocalized butt rock final boss song.
Yeah.
They pulled a Sonic.
This is the live and learn of Mario.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really is,
Absolutely. And then also Jump Up Superstar's like in-game appearance was also very cool at New Donk City.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many moments in the game where I just couldn't stop, like, smiling. It was just so much fun.
Banger soundtrack as well.
Absolutely.
Like, while we're on it, the Moonrune Caves, banger. Steam Gardens, banger.
I will just say, like, going from, like, Super Mario 3D Land and World to Odyssey was so refreshing. Because there's so much new stuff. Because at the time, Mario was kind of stagnating. Like, Mario was stuck in, like, hey, here's your typical Mario game, New Super Mario Bros. 2, New Super Mario Bros. U, 3D World, 3D Land. Nothing really felt new. So Odyssey had all these new, like, characters and enemies, and it felt like Super Mario Galaxy with all the new content again.
Yeah.
I feel like Odyssey retroactively made 3D World and 3D Land better. Because then, like, before it was like, why do we care about this? It's literally just the 2D Marios, but in 3D. But now that we have Odyssey, the real 3D Mario, we can go back and appreciate why 3D World was so unique, honestly.
I think in the moment, though, like, at the time, putting yourself back, because, I mean, I wasn't super into the Wii U in general, because I didn't own one at the time, but the jump from 3D Land to 3D World with Mario Galaxy as the predecessors was definitely underwhelming.
Yeah.
Because people are like, alright, it's the next 3D home console Mario game. And then we get 3D Land again?
But with cats.
Yeah, it definitely felt like a misdirection. Like, for some reason Nintendo is like, well, 3D Land did so well, this is clearly where we need to take the Mario series. And then everyone was like, you're clearly missing what we like about 3D Mario. Like,
I do
linear
remember
levels
that
works in
game
handheld,
getting
but
very positive reviews, though. Like, I remember people liking the game a lot. And I liked the game a lot.
people liked it, and it's a good game.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying, as a 3D Mario game, you kind of live up to a very high expectation of what it's supposed to be like. And linear is not it. You can have, I mean, it would have, I think 3D World's existence would hurt a lot less if we also got an open world Mario game on the Wii U as well. Which is what makes 3D World plus Bowser Fury work so well, and also the fact that it's on a handheld system. So like, it kind of fits both niches. But yeah, after Mario Odyssey came out, for me, that was about it in 2017, but obviously, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 also came out, and I know you guys are both passionate about that game, so I'll just let you...
Oh, man. I got it. I was so excited for the game, and I could not wrap my head around how the game worked and dropped it.
I was in a very similar place to you. The game is terrible at explaining itself, and even when it's not good, even when it is good at explaining itself, it's bad at conveying how important certain mechanics are. But I really, really, really wanted to finish the story, so I just kept banging my head against those 7 boss fights I couldn't beat over and over and over until I finally beat them and got to see the end. And the final boss is a pushover, so...
I got to a point where I was playing the game, and I could not get past this boss. So I spent 3 days grinding and trying all these possible combinations, and I could not beat this boss. I was now like 15 levels above the boss, but could not beat it. And this was mainly because I didn't know how the battle system worked, because they were so bad at explaining it. So what I did was I had the DLC expansion, which comes with difficulty settings. I turned on auto battle and let it beat it for me. And anytime I got stuck, I did that. Which sucked because it took away a lot of like, hey, here's like a lot of the player agency and stuff is like gone, so it didn't feel as special.
I spent an entire 8-hour car ride trying to beat the Torna fight in the abandoned mine on Moradane. Maybe not the entire 8-hour drive, but a good majority of that drive was spent trying to beat that fight.
Oh, good lord. Yeah. No, it was... Thank you, Chugga Conroy, for your playthrough. It has opened my eyes to how great this game is, because I absolutely love the combat now, and the blade system, and realizing mechanics like the achievement system that were in Xenoblade 1 that I love so much have been reworked into the blade system.
Yeah, it's kind of baffling that games like Mario Tennis Aces got their own direct explaining shit like that, in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which desperately needed some, you know, extended tutorial stuff outside of the game, didn't.
That's the thing, Xenoblade Chronicles X got one, but they didn't give one to 2.
Well, the thing with 2 is once you view a tutorial, you can never view it again.
Oh, that is unless you pay for them at the Informant.
Oh, that's right, you do have to pay for them.
And then you get a two-sentence long thing hidden away in your inventory.
Yeah, that's
that can
really
be cryptic
dumb
at times.
And it sucks because the game is so good.
The game is really, really good. I love the story.
I picked up the game like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago at this point. And I got up to like, was it chapter 3 or however the game segments.
I thought you quit after beating Morag.
I guess it was chapter 2 or 3.
That's chapter 2.
Is it 2?
Because chapter 1's like 30 minutes long.
I put like 10 hours into this game.
You what?
Yeah.
And you only beat Morag?
I don't know where I'm at.
Okay, to be fair, if you're doing side questing, I mean...
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did side questing, yep. 100%.
It's weird that you criticize the game for being point A to point B and not encouraging exploration, but you only got to Gormott.
I didn't make that argument, did I?
you did.
I just said that the game is very open, and I think it's a little too open. That's all I said.
Like, that's what I'm saying. You only got to one Titan, and you didn't even see most of the quests that make you go to the different parts of the Titans.
I watched Etika play a lot of the game. That was my exposure to it before I owned it, is I watched Etika play through a lot of the game, and I watched a lot of the cutscenes, but... I mean, this is just... My point was more towards, if the game can't handle these expansive realms, and visually, I mean, maybe it's just poppin', maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but it looks kind of bare. Maybe you could have made the world a little smaller, a little more linear?
Yeah, I will say Xenoblade Chronicles 2 definitely feels more big for the sake of being big. There's a lot more empty field, I feel.
Tipperantia, the Titan. There's one Titan that's literally just a rocky plain, and it's not even part of the story. It's completely optional to go explore the barren rocky plain. It is my least favorite Titan in the game.
It is awful. Well, like, here's the thing, like, we'll get to it, but, like, the original Xenoblade Chronicles was packed. Like, yes, there were still some areas that had kind of nothing, but, like, Gower Plains is such a packed area.
Even the areas that didn't have it a lot going for it, though, like Sword Valley, was still really cool to traverse, just because the set pieces was so cool, and it really felt like you were invading a foreign land, you know?
And it was just a unique landscape.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing that was missing for me. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles world building was insane because of the attention to detail with the Titans. Because they were 2 Titans that died, like, in combat in a specific way that made it where you could explore both of them. And yes, the path from the beginning of the game to the end is linear, but it doesn't feel that way just because of how many different ways you can explore it. And obviously the game doesn't just go from point A to B. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 very much felt like, alright, here's this chapter, it takes place on this Titan, that's it. Like, you don't go back to a lot of places.
What do you mean? You had to go to Gormont to go fight some 8-year-olds.
That's true, and that was a pace breaker.
Yeah, I hated that chapter.
That was
Not
such
chapter,
filler.
just that moment.
That's where I'm at in the game right now. Gosh, I just finally got to more Ordain.
Alright, jumping into 2018. Obviously, the big launch title, or not launch title, the big title of 2018 was near the end, and we can get to that soon enough. What else did you guys play?
The first game on my list was one I wouldn't have discovered without Ian, but Celeste.
Yes.
I can finally talk about this.
Celeste was definitely, probably, other than Smash, was my most played game in 2018.
Smash Bros. Wasn't even my most played game in 2018.
Well, to be fair, it came out the last month of 2018.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Did Celeste come out in 2018, or was it ported to Switch in 2018?
It came out. It was January 25th.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a relatively new game.
Yeah, Celeste was amazing. I mean, obviously we have our playthrough of Celeste on the channel, which
It's half complete and probably will never be complete.
we have the footage. I just got busy, and now it feels awkward to release the last 2 parts because it's been so long.
I guess I can kiss my $10 goodbye.
Oh, cringe. Yeah, I probably will just finish it sometime. But yeah, Celeste was great. Obviously, definitely the best indie game I've played. Period. Honestly.
I cared about the story. The music was amazing. The whole, like, the gameplay was so satisfying. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, die, try again, die, try again, die, try again type games. But, like, I can't stand games like Super Meat Boy and stuff like that. But this was, again, like, the story helped, but also, like, how fast you respawned and everything. And, like, it wasn't too insanely challenging. There
It
was
felt
some
fair.
parts.
It was fair.
Yes, but it wasn't like bullet hell platforming. It was very, very doable, and it was just such a fun game to do. Like,
Celeste was a great game socially for me as well, just because my friends were playing it at the time as well, and so after we beat the main game, it was kind of a competition to see who could beat the B-side levels and things like that, and I definitely lost that competition, if we were to call it that, because I still haven't beaten all the B-side levels, but it was really fun watching my friend Wesley and Jace, like, every time be playing at school and being like, yeah, I got the fucking golden strawberry. And it's like, bruh. They're like doing these like frame perfect jumps on like spikes. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? And they're like,
Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, that game really does reward your patience to learn its mechanics, and it's really cool that the game itself encourages you to kind of break it in a way. Anything else for 2018 before Smash?
there's a lot.
Alright, go ahead, hit me.
We had Kirby Star Allies.
Ooh, big name, big name.
That game was fun for about a month. Then we had Nintendo Labo in April, which I got, and I've actually threw away everything but my
You threw away your Labo
VR
stuff?
it got crushed in the move, which sucked.
You know, Labo will always be held in my mind as the killer of any of my hopes of Switch being used for any interesting VR.
It was never gonna happen.
Well, like, come on. Just the way the Switch is and the way the controllers are, it almost seems like it's designed to work like VR. You know? But like,
yeah, but the screen resolution is dog shit, and that's why the VR was not that good, even in the cardboard. I mean, yeah, in theory, perfect form factor. And if they were to branch off and make some sort of Switch that wasn't like dockable, like if they made a Switch that had an emphasis on VR that could still be hybrid, but you slide it into the VR, you know, goggles or whatever, it could be really cool, but it would also be really expensive, and yeah, that resolution on the screen would have to be way fucking higher, and the refresh rate of the screen would have to be way fucking higher too. I mean, VR games, to be not nauseating, need to run at like 90 hertz at least.
And the headset needs a strap.
Yeah.
Because it was so tiring to play that game. Like, I had to lay down in my bed to play it.
yeah, what was the thought process there? Just
I didn't own it, but yeah, how the fuck did Breath of the Wild VR work?
The Joy-Cons stay in the Switch.
Oh, right,
You hold it up to your head. It's so uncomfortable. Like, your arms start getting tired, like, real quickly because you're constantly holding your hands up to your face.
They don't want people playing hours upon hours of this shit. Putting a 720p panel up to your face is probably not good for your eyes, looking at those pixels so close. Yeah, it was cool, a nice little gimmick. I liked that they updated some games so that people that owned Nintendo Labo VR at least got more out of it, but it was all held back by the resolution of the screen and kind of just the shoehorniness of the whole thing. Because obviously they didn't think about this when they were designing the Switch. It was just more like a, hey, this would work. This would kind of work well afterwards.
there's so many games that almost looked better on Wii U, which is really weird. Like, I think Smash 4 almost looks better than Ultimate. At least a lot of their models.
No. I mean, I think I prefer how some of the character models look compared to Smash Ultimate, but the lighting and overall presentation is way better in Ultimate.
It is time for Smash Bros. Starting with the Game Awards.
Yeah, we've kind of glossed over like E3 2017 and 2018, but that's all right.
Big hype, big announcements, all retro characters that everyone's been asking for forever, and then boom, game's out. It's not a port. Who would have thought?
But like 2 hours before was freaking Joker being announced.
Yeah, that was hype.
Probably the hypest announcement for Smash Bros.
Reagan spoiled that one for me. I'm so sad.
He spoiled Joker?
I was watching it live with my friends.
I was too.
And I had just beaten Persona 5. No, that was a year before. But I was excited for Persona 5 Royal coming out. That was on my mind. We still didn't know what Persona 5 S was, but we were thinking that Persona 5 S stood for Switch. It was Persona 5 Strikers. But that was such a hype announcement. There's actually there's two versions of that trailer. There's one for the Game Awards announcement, and there's one for a non-Game Awards announcement.
Because, like, he went to the Game Awards alone, and they just cut out Game Awards.
They're completely different lines. They're different lines altogether.
Are they?
Yeah. I recently watched it. I was like, oh, shoot, yeah, these are interesting. Okay. I forget what the lines are exactly, but they were different voice lines altogether.
The Game Awards 2017 and 2018 were both very hype.
They were so good.
And the Game Awards 2020, honestly, with Sephiroth.
That's true. That's true.
I'm talking Nintendo announcents. I think Game
there
Awards
wasn't any 2020. I thought Sephiroth was 2021.
Homie.
The Game Awards happened in December.
Did they? Oh, I guess that's true. I don't know. I don't remember. So it was 2019 where they didn't announce anything. That's right.
I don't think so. Yeah, that
2019 they had a speech from Reggie.
That's right. And everyone's like, Smash Bros. And then it didn't happen. Everyone's like, what the hell?
He doesn't even work for Nintendo anymore.
I know.
He's just there.
I would say 2017 Game Awards is probably my favorite. Just because we got Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, announcement for Bayonetta 3, and then they shadow dropped the Zelda DLC Pack 2. That was awesome. Plus, we got the orchestrated Zelda music and all that. Most of the Game Awards I think is really dumb, but like that one was pretty awesome, to be honest.
I missed the 2017 Game Awards. I wasn't around to watch it.
That one was hype as fuck. I remember when they shadow dropped it, I was like, bro, I like scrambled to grab my Switch. I'm like, I got school tomorrow. What the fuck? Yeah.
But no, Smash Bros. Released, and I stayed up, pulled an all-nighter, and unlocked all the characters.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for 48 hours. That was so awful.
I 100%ed World of Light.
You did?
Yeah, I loved it.
I barely touched World of Light. When Smash came out, I had things going on in my personal life. I started dating Alexis the day Smash came out. So like,
did you?
Yeah. So like before, like the days leading up to it, I literally took off work just to play Smash. And then she had to fucking ruin my day and ask me out, like, what the hell? And so I had other things on my mind. I couldn't play Smash anymore, because, like, what the hell?
Dude, you know, if she hadn't have done that, this channel probably would never exist. And honestly, not a fair trade at all. You didn't even get to play Smash that day.
Yeah. Below average, Smash on launch. I don't know. What the fuck are you doing?
My phone.
Oh, no.
But no. Yeah, we ended up... I stayed up all night unlocking all the characters, and that evening we were having a Smash Ultimate launch party at a friend's house. So we stayed up all day playing the game, everyone else was trying to unlock characters and stuff, and then that night we went to a party, and late that night I was up for like 48 hours straight, and it was miserable.
Yeah, that is not how I would want to experience any game launch.
It was fun until the morning hit, and I realized I was still awake.
Yeah, I mean, it took me like probably a week to unlock all the characters. I really expected to go into this playing it a fuck ton, but World of Light wasn't really that fun to me, and so I just kind of cruised along, played it when I could. I was excited for World of Light too.
God, they really made it seem like it was going to be way cooler than it was with that first cutscene.
That first cutscene, holy cow.
It was definitely just kind of like bait to like people that really like Subspace Emissary.
Yeah.
It was.
What do you mean? We got the one cutscene where Sonic looks at Gleam, and then the other cutscene where Mario dies.
I never got that far. I haven't seen those cutscenes.
I love the memes that came from that cutscene. There was so much stuff.
Mario just freaking dies. At the end, there's like, because there's like the light guy and the dark guy, you know? And then, well, at the end of the game, you can choose to kill one of them or the other one, or both at the same time if you have enough light spirits and dark spirits killed. But if you choose to kill one of them alone, then you get a cutscene of the other one just wrecking everyone's ass. And then if you kill the light one, then the dark one just kind of takes over the planet and Mario dies and it's over.
That dark one was like, holy shit.
I know, Mario's like, he's just like,
Bruh, I haven't seen these.
You can look it up, Mario just dies.
The spears piercing Gleam, and then you're like, alright, it's done. But no, it was kind of a brutal scene, all things. I know it's just a ball of light.
So World of Light was kind of long, isn't it?
World of Light took me about like 3 days of like pretty much just focusing on that to beat it. It's a pretty lengthy story mode.
If you combine the cutscenes with the boss battles, then yeah, it's definitely worth it. I'm assuming you've played most of the boss battles through classic mode anyways.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
See, I only did like story mode after once the party was over, I kind of only played World of Light.
Before I even knew there was bosses in World of Light, me and Adam did the Kirby classic mode together, and then it got to the end and we see Mark's shadow. We're like, what? That's not crazy.
Cool.
And Mark showed up and we're like, what?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, honestly, I would have been fine if they didn't have World of Light. You know, a weird thing that I do miss about Smash 4 that I really didn't think I would miss is the master mode or whatever it was called.
Crazy orders and master orders.
Yeah, I liked that. I really liked the what was it called? The fucking weird final boss at the end of classic mode.
Oh, the master core.
Yeah,
the master fortress.
I loved Master Core and Master Fortress. I wish we had that again.
I forgot that Master Fortress was a Wii U only, because I was like watching a video over the 3DS version. And he's like, I didn't talk about Master Fortress.
Mm-hmm. That would have been awesome to bring back.
I am shocked they didn't bring back Smash Run. Like, actually shocked.
I'm shocked they didn't bring back Target Smash.
Like, people are screaming about how they won't bring back Air Ride and City Trial, and then they put City Trial and Smash, and then they didn't bring that back.
Yeah, I really would have rather them drop the spirits in World of Light and just focus on Target Smash would have been great. Like you were saying, Smash Run would have been great. Mm-hmm. I think beefing up Classic Mode even more, even though I think Classic Mode's pretty good, I think just bringing back in some of the more fun, like, mini-game, like,
put some of the returning bosses in.
Right.
I would have sacrificed the entirety of World of Light for more bosses. Because that's the only thing I like, that's the really only big thing of value in World of Light is those bosses.
Why is boss rush not a thing? Which technically it is now, thanks Sephiroth, but
oh yeah.
Why is boss rush not a thing? Boss battle mode was so much fun in Brawl.
I don't know, there's a lot about the older games that I wish we had. Like again, Target Smash was great. I don't remember what the other ones are called, but like the one in Melee where you have to like race to the door and like you can try to get to the race to the finish. That one was awesome.
Try and find the Triforce or get out of the place before it explodes.
Oh, that one was great as well.
Yes.
That one was fucking awesome in adventure mode. I wish we had adventure mode again. Yeah, honestly,
I never really played Melee, so for the longest time I didn't register that adventure mode and classic mode were like different things.
Adventure mode was really fun.
Clearing adventure mode and classic mode in Melee was like, I did that. I wanted to do that. It was so much fun. Like classic mode's best iteration is an ultimate. I will say that. I love the different
every
paths.
Single one's jam packed with references.
Mm-hmm. But then adventure mode, like, I'm not asking, like...
You make one adventure, just like Melee, one adventure mode, and they can all run through the same course.
Mm-hmm. Especially since there's not one classic mode anymore.
Yeah, I understand. Classic mode probably has a lot more that goes into it now, but just ditch World of Light and give me adventure mode.
Honestly, all of these things we said, if like we could get all of those instead of World of Light. Like,
that would be a much better game, honestly. I would have so much more hours into this game.
If we had Smash Run, that would probably be my most played mode over actual competitive Smash.
Smash Run would be really hype. I don't know. Now, Smash Run split screen might be a little much.
True. Yeah. You know what?
But it's
make it like Kirby
handheld.
Air Ride where you can actually find each other in the map, and the split screen wouldn't be. Then the split screen would add to the gameplay.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that would probably be a little hard to see your character, kind of thing.
Maybe.
It depends on how zoomed in it is. But you could still do local wireless play, and you could even do online play if they wanted you to, which would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and DLC and stuff is cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of great DLC, and it's still not over.
We still have 2 characters left? Possibly 3 if that leak is real.
Possibly. Why do you think? I want to touch on that actually. Why are you so sure that's fake?
I don't think it's fake. I just don't think these rumors are like real.
Well, I mean, this one has some actual basis behind it.
I don't
on Nintendo's official website.
I do not follow these rumors that often.
Fair enough.
The only rumors I see are like rumors for like hardware things that like real journalists report on. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. Basically, there's a website link on Nintendo's website that follows the same link structure as the DLC for Smash Bros. That leads to a page that says this content is not viewable. And it's literally like the same. I forget, there's like numbers for the different DLC fighters, and there's 3 more.
Yeah, in Fighter Pack 1, it's like every character had a number in their URL, and every fighter pack that number goes up by 1. And then after Byleth, the next one is the Rex Mii costume that came with fighter pack 1, and that number goes up by 1 from Byleth. And then the very next number that goes up by 1 is Min Min. And then of course they're all going up by 1, and then there's 2 more for the last 2 characters. And then it goes up by 1, and there's nothing, and it goes up by 1 more, and then it's the Ancient Armor. So there's 1 space in between the last fighter pack and the DLC costume like Rex did, you know?
And the specific message is something like this content is not ready yet, or something like that. So it's like, so we're thinking there might be like a surprise, here's another DLC fighter thing.
Who do you think they would do?
Gino.
Oh god, I have no idea.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but like, if it's a surprise character announcement, it's gotta be really special.
Super Mario Maker 2.
That was kind of like probably the most underwhelming launch, honestly.
It was just Mario Maker 1, but...
worse in some ways.
Yeah.
Hot take, although I honestly don't think it's a hot take. I think Mario Maker 2's update was more hype than the game itself coming out.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
yeah, again, it's just another really super bare bones Nintendo game at launch that just gets flooded with updates.
It's a weird one though.
Animal
'cause, like,
Crossing.
It's not a bare. I mean, like they still had to. It has a lot of new shit. It's just like their priorities were weird. Like I think I would have probably made that update before I introduced 3D world mechanics into the game. Like creating worlds just seemed like the natural progression, and we didn't get it until what that was 2020, wasn't it, or was it late 2019? I don't remember.
And a lot of it was they set people up for like, oh gosh, no, 3D World is what we're announcing with, but there's going to be more extra game styles. It literally says extra styles, but they never did anything with it. I'm like, why? Like, please, if this was just a typo, that is the worst typo to make.
I think it might have been... No, that can't be right.
They
I was about to say it might have been extra styles since there's so many different things in 3D World that can't be used in the other ones. And there's like all the mechanics are different, but the other games had different moves and mechanics too.
I think they probably were planning on a Mario Odyssey style, where like it's still 2D, but like you could capture enemies and have a platforming challenges through there.
Well, I almost feel like Super Mario Land was supposed to be a style.
Or Super Mario Bros. 2, and then they just relegated them both to power-ups.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes me question the validity of a Zelda Maker, because they also did that with Link. They just threw Link into Super Mario Maker 2.
Okay, well that opens up another can of worms. I think one of the... And this is like... It seems so small, but it took away so much of the charm is removing the amiibo costumes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like,
yes,
it's crazy how much that really did for the community in Mario Maker 1. The costumes really helped a lot.
It was unlockable. Like, you didn't just have to have the amiibo.
Yeah, I don't know why they... It doesn't make any sense. You literally already have the sprite work done. Just move it over. Why?
I really loved how every costume would change the victory theme you get.
The only reason I could imagine them not wanting to do the extra work is for licensing issues for some of the like third-party amiibos, but
don't include them.
The Pokemon amiibos already didn't work, so like you could have just done that.
No, they did work. They just didn't change the music or the sounds or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, you could have just, you know, if an amiibo, if you had a licensing issue, just be like, this amiibo is not compatible. But that would still lead a fuck ton of amiibos that are compatible.
Yeah.
Like, everyone from Smash Bros. Would still work.
Yeah, except for maybe some of the DLC third-party characters.
Sephiroth and Mario be like...
Oh, I'm gonna play Sephiroth in Super Mario Maker.
Was Cloud in Mario Maker?
No. I don't think so.
They didn't.
Yeah,
But I thought a lot of the DLC amiibos got patched in anyways.
His amiibo didn't come out until like 2017 or 2016.
Huh.
Yeah, so I don't think they updated the game for him.
A shame. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Bayonetta and Mario.
Yeah, how they gonna make her biddies in a 8-bit spray? I don't know how they do that one.
It's like 90% of her character.
Exactly, and her personality. Oh, women, right?
Oh.
Next up is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Yes. Did you get it?
I did not. I still want to. Like, I still gotta get it.
I have it. I played like 3 hours of it. I did not beat it.
I played through the game in like a weekend. It's not that long of a game. I mean, it was a Game Boy Zelda game. But
I'm glad they didn't add filler to it to try and pad it out.
It was fun. That was one of those games that like I always heard like, oh, it was such a great game. It was one of those games that was kind of overhyped for me. Like, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the game. But the 8-directional movement...
Stupid. They should have removed that.
They didn't?
No, they didn't.
And you could, which the funny thing is, because you can't even... I don't think you can even use the D-pad in that game either.
I don't think so. Because that was the thing that was so nice about A Link Between Worlds, was you had full 360 movement. And it felt so smooth.
I love that game so much. That's by far my favorite Zelda.
And it ran in 60 FPS. This game barely hits 30.
It chugs!
Really? The game looks like it's made of plastic.
When the Game Boy version runs better, you have an issue.
Don't get me wrong, it's a very pretty looking game, and I actually like the visual makeup. But something's gotta be wrong. That should be able to hit 60 easy.
Well, part of it was they made it open world. They removed all the loading screens or whatever. Well, other than going into houses. But, like, it's not grid based like it was in the original.
But
it's
there
all
should
open.
still, you don't need to have the entire world rendered at once.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, there's clearly some tricks that they just opted not to do. And I don't know why.
Do you guys think we're gonna get Oracle games in the same style? Because it's actually, in
I
canon,
hope
it is
so.
the same Link. Like, it's
I
the
hope
same
so.
character.
Well, first off, it's the Zelda frame here that it is a different Link. The Oracle of Ages and Seasons, that's the same Link. But it takes place like... I
Yeah.
don't think it's in the same time.
Isn't the Oracle games Awakening and Link to the Past all the same Link?
No.
Are you sure?
Trust me, if anyone knows, it's him.
I have the Hyrule Historia right next to me.
He's got
right
all
now.
the fucking books, bro. He knows.
I got all the books too!
Well,
Don't
then-
even pull that.
Clearly, you have not been reading.
Oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
I know that there's one Link that stars in 3 different games. I could have sworn that those were all 3 the same Link. I know for certain Awakening and Oracle is the same Link, but
No,
I
it's not.
really
I
thought
absolutely. You were right about Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. That's the same Link.
No, I'm certain
Yes,
because
it
the
is.
Oracle games end with him.
Got the book, bro. I can hear him flipping the pages.
The Oracle games end with Link leaving on a ship, and then the Link's Awakening starts with him getting shipwrecked on that same ship.
The Zelda timeline is funny.
What?
Uh-oh,
You might
wait,
actually be right. Hang on,
Xander's
page
got his
92.
facts wrong. Holy shit, wait.
Page 92. Although I need to look at the
Nintendo Switch, everybody.
Is there not just like one page that has the entire timeline?
There is, but it doesn't give you the details of the timeline, it just has the game
Well,
placements.
objectively, we can just figure out from there, right?
And plus, I'm pretty sure the timeline has changed since they've made that one.
the timeline has changed, and I'm pretty sure the Oracle games are the ones.
I'm pretty sure they flipped the
This
order.
shit's fucking stupid.
Yes. So they moved the Oracle games after. Okay, so in Hyrule Historia, it does go Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, then Link's Awakening. They flipped it, and now Oracle of Ages and Seasons are separate from Link to the Past and Link's Awakening.
So they used to all be the same Link,
They
but it
used
isn't
to,
anymore.
but they
What
changed
the?
Thank you, Nintendo. Your timeline is great.
That's so dumb though, because how is it really going to be a different Link when the game starts with him getting shipwrecked on the same boat he ended the last game on?
To be fair, Link's Awakening came out like right after Link to the Past. They were made to be sequels to each other.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword was like, oh shoot, where do we put the Oracle games?
But I thought the Oracle games were made to go after Link's Awakening. Or before Link's Awakening.
No, they weren't, because they came after Link's Awakening.
Oh my
They were
God.
developed afterwards for the Game Boy Color, which came out in like 2001. Link's Awakening was like 1998 or something. I don't know.
This is epic.
I'm going to Google for this because every Link
He's
has
got the book, bro.
I know, but
I
every
just
Link.
told you the canonical.
No, I know. But my question now is every Link has their own canonical hero title, you know? Like the Link's Awakening and Link to the Past Link is the hero of legend. So what is the Oracle Link?
I don't know. Hero of Oracle. What about the hero of D's Nuts? Which one is that?
That's me.
I know one was like the Hero of Seasons and Hero of Ages.
Dude, Google doesn't understand this timeline. If y'all fucking losers can't understand this, do you think there's gonna be a Googleable answer for this shit? Let's get real.
What is Link the hero of in A Link to the Past? That's the new hero of Hyrule. It's not even. There's no way I'm gonna find this, and I'm just taking up time anyways.
Dragon Quest XI-S came out like a week later.
Thankfully, they stopped fucking shoving that game in our faces. I was happy when that shit came out.
That game looks good.
They pushed that game so hard.
Well, they probably had to get Hero and Smash.
No, there's definitely something going behind the scenes. Dude, 2019 E3 felt weird with Hero's inclusion, because it definitely felt like there was some sort of deal behind the scenes. Like, yeah, you can have Hero.
I mean, they had to do lots of arm twisting to get Cloud in the
Yeah.
first place anyways. Like, Square definitely is hard to play with, I feel like.
I love that the music says, like for Dragon Quest, says it's from 11S, but it's not. It's the MIDI version from the PS4 version.
I played the demo. I bought the game for Alexis. So, shocker, she hasn't played it.
I bought it as well. Like, I played through it, and I did enjoy it, but like the moment I set it down, I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
I got about 15 hours in. It's decent.
It's probably one of the best looking Switch games out there.
Like, the voice acting is not too bad either. Like, I enjoyed it. It's just the combat that I just get.
What else came out in 2019? Because that was September, right?
Yeah. The Witcher 3.
You got that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You sounded so sad and so disappointed in yourself.
I got it, played it for 5 minutes, and then bought it on Steam for $20.
Why? Did you really think it was gonna be comparable on Switch?
I wanted it portable, even though I never take my Switch anywhere.
He's self-aware and not at the same time. It's so funny.
But then, one of the best looking games on Switch, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Oh my... Oh, you are doing yourself a disservice, man. It's so good.
Oh, okay.
I have it physically. I haven't... I barely played it too, honestly. Sorry, Zayd, I know you got it for me,
What?
but...
I get a treat for your birthday. Like, 2 years ago.
I've been busy. I should play it. That'd be a good one to play on stream.
You should. Because that game, like... Oh my gosh. Like,
It looks awesome.
I feel like I'm playing a movie. Like, that game was so much fun to play.
I'm a big fan of the first two Luigi's Mansions, and you can trust me, I watched them on YouTube.
Yeah, just like every other game you're a big fan of. I'm not even convinced you've played Xenoblade Chronicles.
I haven't finished it, but I'm working on it.
You haven't played the first one? You didn't finish the first one?
I haven't finished it, no.
I love the first Luigi's Mansion. It's still probably my favorite of the series just from a gameplay point. But, like, Luigi's Mansion 3, first off, the controls felt great again. Because, again, dual stick control. But, like, the set pieces and the story and, like, it was just so much fun. And the game and animation, everything looked so fantastic. The boss fights were the best in the series. It was so much fun.
I really liked the small characterizations in Luigi's Mansion 2 as well. Like, I know Mario games will never have a good plot or like a complex plot, and that's totally okay because it just wouldn't fit Mario anyways. but I really like when I get to see at least character development or like actual character interaction in Mario games. Just like the little details, like at the end of Luigi's Mansion 2, Mario being like really proud of Luigi for beating King Boo. It's just cute to see, you know? I just like seeing them be characters in these games.
And you got, and that's the thing, like, if you like that, you'll love Luigi's Mansion 3, because they do it a lot more.
Yeah, not to like venture off too much, but hearing him say like Mario's not really known for his story, like it wouldn't work, just kind of reminded me that we're getting a Mario movie in like a year.
Oh boy, I'm not excited for that. Illumination is in control of that, and I don't care about it at
Miyamoto's
all.
the director, isn't he?
Director doesn't mean script writer.
That also doesn't ensue confidence, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're supposed to love Miyamoto as the Godfather, but
there's only gonna be Toads.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's not gonna let anything be in the movie but Toads and Goombas.
They have so much source material to go. They have so much source material to go off of, but yeah, I'm really afraid
They
he's
should
gonna be
adapt one of the Mario and Luigi games.
I'm pretty damn sure he's gonna have the same mentality of like, we need to stick to core Mario enemies and characters, and it's gonna be really bland and not good. I'm very curious to see what that's gonna turn out to be. I just hope it's not boring, because the Sonic movie was boring.
Really?
Detective
You didn't
Pikachu.
like it?
Detective Pikachu was embarrassing. The Sonic movie
What?
was boring.
Really?
Wow. I mean, I know Ian, you're not a big movie guy, but
I like movies. I
Well,
like
you
good
didn't-
movies.
You thought the Detective Pikachu movie was embarrassing?
Dude, some of the acting in that movie was fucking dog shit.
Still a good movie.
I thought it was visually interesting. I liked seeing the Pokemon in real life.
Yeah, it was very faithful.
And
Not to the game itself, Detective Pikachu, but that's okay, because that game, I hear, isn't good.
I liked Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. I thought that was actually very fitting, but I thought it was kind of cringe at points, maybe.
It felt like the Pokemon anime in live action. I feel like they did a good job at conveying that.
Yeah, but
And you know,
when you're
the
going to
Pokemon
have-
anime can be cringe at times, but it was the same kind of cringe that was in the
it's
movie.
masked because it's animated.
I
When you
I
see
feel
real
like-
actors doing this, it's like, I want
think
to
it
kill
was.
myself.
I thought it was conveyed really well. I thought it had a lot of charm.
What about the Sonic movie?
Less so, but I thought it was passable. I thought it was good, and I feel like the second one's gonna be better. Because the second one we already know is adapting Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So already we have a much
we
more
don't know
substantial
that.
plot.
We just
Nope, they've
don't know
announced
that.
it. They've announced the plot synopsis.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they release a new trailer?
The main human characters from Sonic 1 are going to be absent on vacation in this movie, so we don't need to worry about Captain Donut or whatever. And apparently the plot is when they're on vacation, Robotnik returns, having found Knuckles on the Mushroom Planet. He helps him get back to Earth to try and find the Master Emerald. And then Tails also gets to Earth
They
to try and
confirmed
stop
all
him.
of that?
Yeah, they've released a plot synopsis of the movie, and there's also been leaked set photos with
I've
Knuckles
seen
figures.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is a leaked plot synopsis.
It's leaked, not
It
official.
may not be real.
We need to move on to more
Yeah,
like
you're right,
actual
you're right.
Switch shit.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's the first Pokemon game I ever beat.
Don't get me started.
actually
on
beat
this
it?
one.
I beat it.
Wow.
I've only beaten 2 Pokemon games. I've beaten Sword and Pokemon Fire Red.
Will you guys allow me to go on a little rant about how much I hate this game?
Do you own it? Do you own it?
No, I don't own it because I'm not going to buy it. 'Cause it's bad.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, there's obviously the drama that went on earlier on where they cut like 2/3 of the Pokemon to improve animations and models, and then proceeded to rip every single animation and model from older games, and then leave the other Pokemon that they cut in the code anyways with just stock Pikachu model and animations. They literally could have just added the models into the game and then put them all over the code they already had for these Pokemon, but they didn't do it. Do you want to know why? So they could put them in as DLC. And then they lied about why they were doing it. And then again, the game-specific mechanic, Dynamaxing, lame as hell. And then Gigantamaxing is just glorified Mega Evolution. all the characters are lame and boring and reuse animations from all the other old characters from the other Pokemon games. The environments suck. The follow mechanic added in the DLC is laughably bad. The writing is laughably bad, even compared to other Pokemon games.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask Xander about. How's the story, at least?
As someone who hadn't beaten a Pokemon game before, there was no weight to the story. Like, there was dramatic moments. The only time I really felt anything was the final boss, but then it was kind of ruined when, like, you just throw your Gigantamax Pokeball thing at Eternus and then you got it. And, like, cool.
I never really understood that as a kid when I played Pokemon games, because I wasn't, like, super focused on the dialogue. It was more of just getting all the gym leaders done. But, like, going back and watching King K's videos, like, retrospectives and all these Pokemon games, like, holy shit. Like, I'm listening to him, like, explain the lore behind Kyogre and Groudon, and I'm like, wow, this is, like, really interesting. Like, I would listen to analysis videos on this shit forever.
Well, I had to learn, like, especially with Sword and Shield, I learned, like, stop trying to think, like, oh man, what Pokemon's the best, what Pokemon is, like, no. You aren't limited to what Pokemon, like, if you like this Pokemon, your strategy is viable.
Yeah, you can make it work.
You can make it work, and so I came up with my own strategy. It's all about team building. Yeah. Because that was the thing, like, I felt so satisfied in, like, the final gym, which, okay, Sword and Shield, I love the gym settings. Like, when you're down to the last Pokemon and the crowd starts cheering and chanting, that's a pretty cool set piece, like, stuff. Like, that made gym battles, like, hype. The music built as farther, the more you got into the battle, which was so exciting.
Have I finally made a good enough case for myself for why I hate Sword and Shield without playing it?
Hey man, I can't judge too hard because I've shat on a shit ton of games I haven't played within this discussion alone, so, you know, but no, you have not. Yeah, 2020,
Can I talk about Animal Crossing now?
Yes.
Oh, it's so disappointing.
What?
It's so disappointing. It's so void of content. Like, it's like, here, you can place items outside. It tries to cover up its own lack of content by allowing you to decorate outside, forcing you to decorate outside, and forcing you to wait weeks for everything. Weeks is an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Like, there's so many, like, compared to New Leaf, there's so many more instances of wait for this to happen tomorrow, or it's stopping you from progressing until you reach a certain point, which you have to wait for, and then you have to wait to do the thing you wanted to progress to do. And on top of that, they've stripped away villagers and all of their personalities, and I think they reduced the different personality types you can have, and every personality type barely has any lines to where you're already seeing repeat lines within like 2 weeks of playing. It's like, and you can't even do tasks for your villagers anymore, and it just feels, just going from New Leaf to New Horizons is so disappointing, because all they had to do is do New Leaf on an island and you can place items outside, and that's all they needed to do, and they just made it worse.
Here's what I will say. I mean, obviously they had no way of knowing this, but people are like, oh, this is the perfect pandemic game, but it really wasn't, for the same reason you were saying. You had to wait a lot. Like, I wanted to just build my fucking town and, like, pimp it out, and I just stopped playing before I could really get into, I mean, I didn't even get to, was it terraforming or whatever?
Yeah, I never finished Project KK, just because I couldn't give a shit.
I fell out of it before I could get interested. And I'm not, look man, I don't really play these types of games as is, but I bought it and I was excited to, like, have the social aspect of going to other people's islands and stuff like that, but even that was barely fleshed out.
Yeah, if you go, as soon as you go to someone's islands, every action you have is prohibited. You suddenly, which wasn't even how it was in New Leaf. Once you go to someone's island, you can't do anything.
You can catch fish and bugs and stuff.
Yeah, but that's it. Unless you want to make your island a playground or a meticulously put together place to farm bugs and beetles, there's nothing to do. You can be like, here's my cool tiki bar I built on my beach. I'm like, that's awesome. This is the 4th time you're showing me. You know?
If you had a friend who like was in the opposite hemisphere as you, it made collecting bugs from a museum a lot easier.
That is true. In New Leaf, when you visit someone's island, visit someone's town, then you could go to the dock and you guys could go to the tropical island together to go farm for rare beetles and fish. You can't do that here. You can't even go to the smaller islands with friends. You have to do that alone. The abandoned smaller islands with nothing to do on them. The one place where it would make sense for you to allow chopping down trees and digging holes and building things.
I mean, Xander, you played a decent amount of New Horizons, didn't you?
Yes. I will say, when it came out, it was a great quarantine game. It really was. I will say that. Like, it was so much fun on Twitter when it came out, because literally everyone was playing the game together. And, like, everyone, I remember, like, literally, like, the day it came out, that weekend was the weekend that we went to shutdown.
Yeah, no,
So,
like, literally.
Like, I was playing it, and then suddenly, like, oh, well, okay. So, I got everything set up so that Tom Nook would come and, or not Tom Nook, the owl dude would come and build the museum.
What's his name?
Blathers.
Yeah.
Blathers. And, I was looking on Twitter and everyone was like storing all their bugs and stuff just on their island outside the tent. That was so much fun.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
Right where
you remember I was doing that in the dorm and you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I can't give him my bugs yet, so I'm just placing my next up plot. And I just have a sea of fish tanks. I'm like, why can't you just let me give them to Tom Nook?
But that was the thing, was everyone was doing that together, so it gave a sense of community, like looking online.
Playing it
Like,
at launch, there was that sense of community.
I remember seeing Wendy's Twitter account was streaming Animal Crossing. I was like, what the heck? Okay. Wendy's is playing Animal Crossing. Like, what the? Okay, alright, cool. But like, again, I had a lot of friends playing it, and we would constantly like go to each other's islands, trade bugs, and just hang out, and like we talk in voice chat and just chill in Animal Crossing. Like it really was just like a virtual place to just detach from the real life world shit that was going down, and it was a nice escape. And then Persona came out.
Yeah, I do wonder because you were a late bloomer to New Horizons.
That is true, yeah.
If you would have played at launch, you probably would have had a better time.
But even then, you guys were talking about all the cool community things that happened. They were all on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I don't
Reddit?
feel like I don't even follow r/Animal Crossing or anything like that. I don't feel like I would have gotten anything out of the community aspect besides my friends playing it. And even then, we've went over that. That's super bare bones.
I would make custom designs. One of my designs got featured in a news article covering Animal Crossing New Horizons shirts and just creative stuff. I was like,
You should have used that to get so much clout on Xanderoni paint.
I didn't know about it until like a month ago when I stumbled across it. Because I searched Xanderoni to see what came up on Google, and a picture of my shirt came up, and I was like, what is this? And I linked to an article talking about custom designs. I'm like, oh.
When your
That's
Animal
cool.
Crossing shirt comes up before your YouTube channel.
No, my channel art came up first, but it was also on there.
You know, it's kind of cool that you just have a monopoly on the Xanderoni name. Not gonna get confused with anyone else.
I'm kind of sad. I searched up Xanderoni and I cannot find the BelowAverage video.
Damn.
I'm looking. I'm page 6.
Did I just see
page
Veggie
7,
Cart?
Page
No!
8. Yeah, lots of
even talk
Veggie
about
Tales.
that.
Lots of Veggie Tales.
Xander, why is there so much Veggie Tales?
There he is again. Stranger Things Night, Veggie Tales, and a candy drop? What the fuck?
Anyways, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out May 29th, 2020.
I was gonna finish the main campaign before I played Future Connected. I probably should have just played Future Connected because I have not finished the main campaign, and I think I stopped playing it I stopped playing it in like November.
Xander, you finished it, right?
I 100%ed Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Damn.
I played it non-stop until I did it. I finished Colony 6. I got all... Okay. I haven't fully 100%ed it because they added the glamour thing now. The armor appearance thing. And there's some new armor and stuff that the battle mode thing did. But in terms of actual gameplay stuff, the thing is, it's not armor you want to wear.
Please no spoilers about Future Connected, by the way. I still intend to play it.
We've spoiled so much shit in this fucking discussion. I feel bad for
I'm
anyone
sorry.
who's
Yeah, I
listening
I didn't mean to spoil.
Future Connected was fun. That's all I'll say. But no, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I wish I was recording my reaction to that being announced because I was in call with some people. That was the last thing before we go announcement, and literally I heard the piano lick of the main theme as it was fading into Machna Falls and started screaming.
Literally, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, because literally like a week before I was talking with a friend, I'm like, man, because I was playing through Xenoblade Chronicles at the time, and I was like, again, just messing around, and I was like, this game is so much fun and looks so good on the Wii. Like, I wish this game, if any game needs a remake or an HD re-release, it's Xenoblade Chronicles. And then a week later, it got announced, and literally all my friends in the call can attest, I was just screaming, no way, pretty much the entire trailer, because it is one of the best other than, I don't know, like Final Fantasy VII remake, but like, it looked so good how much they touched up just little things like having facial expressions in the just talking cutscenes where it's...
they're so much more expressive now. I love it.
Literally, the animations are the same. The facial animations just change. Like, they just have happy and sad and confused expressions. And it makes a world of difference in those cutscenes. And the character model upgrades, like, they're so good. And people are complaining, like, man, well, some of the NPC models are like, they still look like the Wii models. I'm like, well, yes, but like, it's still a Wii game. Like, this isn't like Final Fantasy VII remake. This isn't like a full. They updated some landscape stuff, sure, but mainly they updated the character models and remastered the music and have a different lighting engine.
Oh my god, some of this remastered music though.
Oh my gosh!
Like, I never quite got the hype about You Will Know Our Names until I heard the remaster. I'm like, I get it now.
That song, I love that song is so genius in general because it hits two different ways. It's you're underleveled and you're not expecting it, and it's run, you're about to die. And then when you're ready to fight it, it's such a pumping, like, you're excited, you're ready to fight. Like, it works both ways, and it's such a genius song.
That's one criticism I have a little bit with Xenoblade 2, is, like, compared to You Will Know Our Names and Uncontrollable from Xenoblade 1 and X respectively, when you hear Uncontrollable or You Will Know Our Names start up, then it's just like, the beginning of those songs are just terrifying. Like, you get near, like in Xenoblade X, when you get to that giant mech in the middle of the lake, you're like, what is this thing? I want to climb it, and then it rises out of the lake, and it's the super boss, like, for post game, and then you hear nothing. You're just like, oh no, get me out of here. But then in Xenoblade 2, the first half of the game has a unique monster theme that sounds like that, and it sounds good. But then the second half of the game, after Mithra awakens, the unique monster theme gets swapped out, and the beginning of that song just sounds so tame in comparison. But I wanted to touch on what you said before, like when you heard those first few piano notes, because when I watched that direct, I had been watching the Xenoblade subreddit, and apparently the director of Xenoblade, I don't remember his name, but he had been making a lot of retweets and a lot of gestures towards this direct, and everyone's like, don't freak out too much, it could be something totally different, he could just be repping his company. And then it was the end of the direct. I'm like, they didn't announce any Xenoblade. I guess he was just being an employee, because they would not close with Xenoblade. Because it's not that big of a name. And then I just heard those piano notes. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I definitely remember the speculation around that at the time.
It was so nice to see that game getting what it deserved finally, because the Wii's launch was awful. Like,
it got what
barely
it deserved. It got the new 3DS port.
Yeah, okay. But like, it barely got released in the US. It released late in the Wii's lifespan. And then it got the 3DS port, which was cool. Did not run very well, looked like crap.
I can't believe Henry played it that way.
I know.
That is insane.
But no, like, seeing it now, I'm like, this is the console this game deserved to be on. And the fact that it runs better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is funny. And honestly, it made Xenoblade Chronicles 2 look pretty bad in comparison.
Yeah, I was so excited about DE because when Xenoblade 2 came out, I was like, I want to see the first game in this kind of graphical style. And that's what DE ended up exactly being.
Shulk with big old titties?
Exactly.
Yeah, me too.
Let me make a distinction there between art style and graphical style. I did not want to see Xenoblade 1 over animeized. I just wanted...
Which it kind of did.
Do you think it was?
In some regards.
No, Xenoblade DE was, I feel, a healthy mix between Xenoblade 1 and 2's art style.
I think Shulk looks a little weird.
He looks a little boyish. But he looked even more boyish in Xenoblade 2, so I'm okay with it.
I think it helped with, like, unifying the brand a little bit.
I think their art style is more out of necessity, and I think it's good going forward to have it unified like that, because if they went for a more realistic approach, I mean, that's going to bite them in the ass.
Could you imagine Xenoblade 2 with the Xenoblade 1 art style?
It would look really gross.
Yeah.
It would look really weird.
Like, Pyra's absurdly large honkers in a realistic art style.
Well, she probably wouldn't have major honkers.
Well, if that was the trade-off, then yeah, I would want Xenoblade 2 in 1's art style, given a graphical upgrade.
But I think it would look even more dog shit, is my thing. I think the simplistic coloring and the anime art style kind of lends it better at a lower resolution.
Have we recently gotten a big game? I feel like we just got a game recently.
Paper Mario: The Origami King. I have not beaten it yet. I'm in the Wind Waker area, which is exciting until I got stuck. But I now know what to do. I just got to get back there. The game is very fun. I will say that. Like, it is. There's variety. It is close. I've gotten some feelings like I did when I played Thousand Year Door. I'll say that.
I'm just shocked that they gave us partners back and still refused to give them unique designs. What is the point?
They gave us partners back.
It's Miyamoto.
They gave us partners back, but refused to actually let us use them in battle at our own will.
Yep.
That was baffling. They literally miss half the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. Like, what's the point? I can't actually strategize with these guys. Stupid. And they're not even there for the boss fights.
Because the boss fights get to be a completely different game.
Yeah, really. It's like an entirely... like, you spend the entire game, like, figuring out these different patterns and stuff, and then the boss fights hit you, and it's, like, totally different.
If we had started with Paper Mario Sticker Star, this would be the best in the series, but...
Yeah, no. Mario's story ended at Super Paper Mario, but Paper Mario started as Sticker Star.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Interesting. Okay,
I think the first 3 games still have a pretty wide margin of being better. And that's the thing.
There's a very obvious direction to take.
You don't even need to take... Super Paper Mario is completely different and still feels like a Paper Mario game.
Exactly, yeah.
They just, if they want to branch off, cool. Just don't forget what fucking makes it a Paper Mario game. They don't know. They really don't know. Whatever. Anyways, what else we have in 2020?
Another great game, Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
Do we
What
have
is there to say? Yeah, it's a very lackluster collection. Like the UI just screams, yeah, we threw this together in like a night.
Emulated the whole thing and then tacked a limited run onto it.
What annoys me the most about that collection is how it's not really a celebration. Like, what are the extras? The game soundtracks, and that's it.
Yeah, it is.
You don't even get like, they didn't even put in like high resolution pictures of artwork or anything like that.
Or an episode of the cartoon like the Kirby one did.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't have really made sense.
Well, if they were doing like a whole celebration of Mario, like the Kirby one was, you know?
That wouldn't
Or
make
like
sense.
the first All-Stars was.
Yeah, I won't think the Super Mario show would blend well with the... Yeah, I'm done
Well,
playing
I'm not
Galaxy.
saying-
Let me
I'm
go
not-
watch some Super Mario
I'm not saying
show.
only that. I'm saying a whole like smorgasbord of Mario history.
Yes, no, I agree with that. That's what I was trying to say. I think that would have been cool. Maybe like exclusive developer interviews, stuff like that. But no, it literally just feels like they threw it together in a night.
Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I really liked this game.
It's a very good movie, yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
God, I really wanted to see the story. I just hated how grindy it was. Every time I'm like, I want to play some more story missions. I'll do a couple side missions here and there and move on. I'm like, okay, I did like 4 side missions. I want to do more story. I want to see where the plot's going. Recommended level 30. I'm at 15. What?
What?
That's an exaggeration, but you know, it's just like, it's the level requirements for each level, not requirements, but suggestions, just felt like it wants me to do a story mission and then to spend 3 days grinding.
I never had that issue.
I did.
I think Xander's just better?
I guess I'm just a little, shit.
They took Breath of the Wild and got all the different elements and made it, like, I'm impressed with how much they took from
It
Breath of
looks
the
like
Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Nintendo didn't give them like the engine or something to Breath of the Wild. They showed them that and they're like, wait a minute, how'd you do that? Like, Aonuma said that in an interview, like that he was impressed that they were able to recreate the style of Breath of the Wild so perfectly. And the story was a big selling point for me because it was what I wanted from Breath of the Wild.
Except for I think I've talked to you about this. I don't remember if it bothered you or not, but like, doesn't it have like some weird time travel mechanic in it?
Yeah, it's non-canon. It's an alternate timeline.
They could probably reference it in Breath of the Wild too, like maybe have Terrico show up somewhere or something. I don't know, but it's not canon. But it was, part of it was, I don't know, this might have happened in the past type thing, because Terrico throws everything off. But it was cool seeing like the Yiga clan and how much of a threat they actually were.
Seeing them actually be a threat before present day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was so cool, like, seeing, like, these towns that you would explore in Breath of the Wild, like, fully, like, there and, like, alive towns and stuff, and it was cool. Like, Hyrule was a thriving place.
Speaking of this, this is one grievance I had with that game. Breath of the Wild, I felt really strived feeling like a post-apocalyptic game, because it's like you're grabbing everything you can, you're scrounging everything together, you're cooking food together to give yourself more supplies to venture through the wilderness. You literally glide around on a parasail just because that is the best way to get around the wilderness, and you're mounting wild animals, discovering things hidden deeps in caves. So you go back 100 years, back before the apocalypse, when everything was lively and modernized. What are you doing? You're scrounging things together so you can live on what you get by, and you're gliding around on parasails and mounting wild animals. Like, it feels like this is supposed to be before the apocalypse. It's the same thing.
Not really.
You know?
What game are you playing?
Age of Calamity.
For 30 minutes.
I don't know. It just didn't feel different enough. It's like they were just like, We'll put more people there, and then it will feel like it isn't the apocalypse.
I expected Hyrule to look a little more different.
Yeah, like look less destroyed than it does in present.
Just because the cutscene that we get in Breath of the Wild of like Hyrule Castle before everything goes to shit. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember looking a little more...
Like, you see Castle Town in Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time, and it's so lively, and there's structures everywhere, and it's just like...
DJ,
everything in Breath of the Wild...
Calamity?
No.
What? No, I didn't beat it, no.
Did you get to Hyrule Castle?
No, Did I? I think I did.
He probably didn't.
Because I'm just gonna say, like... Getting to explore, like... The entirety of Hyrule Castle, like, from Breath of the Wild, is like a map in the area. Like, getting to see that place, like, actually, like not like a ruin. Like, getting to explore that place, there's so many secrets and stuff in the maps as well. And getting to go Akala Citadel, like that big mound of, like, malice in Breath of the Wild, fully explorable fort. So much fun to go through and get to see that area. Like, there's so much, like, these sections of the map that are completely restored and like how they were before the ruins.
I mean, I was getting to this. There are a few select landmarks like the Colosseum, the Akala Citadel, like you said, where they are ruins, and they're like, yeah, this place was thriving before the Calamity, and obviously they can't get away with leaving those places untouched in this game. It just feels like in all of the spaces in between, in Hyrule Field, and just like all the monster camps and everywhere else, it still just feels completely as empty as it did in Breath of the Wild. Like, obviously in the big landmarks, yeah, they're not ruins, but everywhere else feels no different. You know?
I mean, not every place was civilized, but...
I know. It just... I feel like there should have been more places that were civilized before the Calamity than the places that are obvious ruins, you know?
Here's what I'll say is I'm very, I love this dynamic of us spewing shit and then Xander like coming in to correct the narrative and giving us weird looks when we say things that are just like not true. It's so perfect. I love it. It's
a very good format. I want to do more of these kind of videos.
But like, okay, I will say though, the one that I like, getting to explore the whole of the plateau where it's not ruined and there's like the finished Temple of Time and the Shrine of Resurrection, all these places, so cool. Like, there's so much cool stuff. Like, there's so much fan service for people who play Breath of the Wild, even the small details. That game, I love that game. It was a highlight of 2020 for me.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like that criticism I just waged war with you over is a very minor criticism. I did think that it was a good game. Not for me.
And again, if you're not a big fan of Dynasty Warrior games, that is a big roadblock to getting into the series. Because it can be a lot of samey missions.
What did you think of Young Impa?
No, I liked it.
I thought she was annoying. I thought she was annoying.
I hated her voice actress.
She's the issue I had with Rex, where when she was trying to be serious, I couldn't take her seriously.
Though Rex did kind of straighten out by the end of the game, though.
That's true. That is true.
Impa, I get the feeling she probably doesn't.
She kind of takes a back seat towards the later part of the game, anyway.
I gotta go back and watch those cutscenes on YouTube.
That's what I was thinking. Like, that's why my joke was like, it was a great movie. Like, I need to go back and watch the cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 2 hours of cutscenes in that game, that's impressive.
There's a ridiculous amount of cutscenes.
And like, okay, the fight with Link and Rivali, like,
where like he cuts his arrow at the last second,
like, and they're both about to like kill each other in combat until Zelda stops them. Like,
I like how like it leaves it open-ended too. It's like neither of them won. The rivalry is like unfinished.
I was like, that was so much fun. Like, seeing that, like, I want that's what I want out of a Zelda game. I want cutscene moments like that where Link is like, yes, take away player like control and show Link doing some cool stuff, I'm fine with that. I don't need the link between the player and Link to be connected at all times. I'm okay if Link does some cool flourishing stuff like that I can't do with just moves. Unless you do QuickTime events, I don't know. But like, I want cutscenes like that, like in Age of Calamity, where Link does some cool stuff. Which now that Link is actually his own character now in the Zelda series, the fact that you can't even name him anymore, like.
Hopefully now they can take what they started in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword with giving him a personality and actually kind of run with it and give him an actual distinguishable personality that's constant in the games. That would be cool. Make him a real character. Because it already, like, his demeanor in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, both, and even Twilight Princess a little bit, already was starting to seem a little constant. Like, he had a lot of the same reactions to similar things and a lot of the same quirks. Like, in Twilight Princess specifically, there's a little visual gag where a particularly busty character walks up to him and he goes... It's just really...
And when, like, Link is in the Snow Peak ruins where he's having to get the big key, but he keeps getting the wrong chest, and he opens it up, and he's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, he, like, opens it and he has a bad expression on instead.
Or when you first pick up Uka, and Link's got this disgusted look on his face, he's like, I don't want this. What is this? And, like, even little things like when Teriko gets mad at Link for protecting Zelda, because he wanted to do it, and Link's like, I don't know what to do with you, child. Leave me alone. Like, I just love little moments like that. And like, Link has a personality. He's just kind of...
He just is mute, that's all.
He's mute.
How would you feel if you couldn't talk and people told you you didn't have a personality?
Well, supposedly he does talk, but he's very quiet because he doesn't want to get distracted from his job. So he doesn't try to make connections.
Isn't that the excuse they gave of why he's more expressive post Shrine of Resurrection and Breath of the Wild? Like, he forgot he's a knight, so he doesn't care about his duties so much.
But I mean, it's mentioned in a diary is that Zelda was talking to Link, and he said that with all the pressure around him, he doesn't want to, set expectations of himself. He just wants to do his job. Which I'm like, alright, that's interesting character development for Link. Which, I hope Breath of the Wild 2, like, now that the crisis is supposedly over, maybe we get a more expressive and open Link.
And little bit...
I mean, the crisis probably is going to present itself pretty early on.
Hopefully in the form of Ganondorf this time, because I'd love to see, like, Corpse Ganondorf come back and be the threat.
I mean, that seems like what it is.
But I really hope it's not... like, whatever residue was left over from Ganondorf's corpse. Like, I hope he comes back to life.
I think it's probably going to be skeletal Ganondorf of some sort.
I'm okay with that. I just want it to be Ganondorf.
I think Breath of the Wild was kind of a soft reboot for the Zelda series.
Yeah, I mean, there's even that little quip at the end of of Breath of the Wild where Zelda goes like, Ganon has completely given up on reincarnation, implying that, like, stopping the calamity is stopping Demise's curse. Like, that seems oddly climactic, especially since the game's like a whole conglomeration of references to the whole series and literally the end point of the timeline. It's beginning to seem a little odd, like they're gonna reboot or something.
And in the Hyrule Encyclopedia, they don't list Breath of the Wild in the timeline, like, at all.
Isn't that because it was made before Breath of the Wild?
Nope. Breath of the Wild has a whole section in this book.
Really?
The Zelda Bible. It's so fucking
it really
weird.
is.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
all right.
That's
we got a few more. We
got a few more.
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury is fun to beat in a day.
I have played like 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid things about it because I do plan on playing it. I just don't know when I will.
It is very fun, and I would love to see the Mario series go in that direction in the future.
Yeah, I watched Donkey's review on it, and he definitely was like, we need more of this. And I really like how all of the small kingdoms, to put in Mario Odyssey terms, are interconnected, and you can see them all and all that shit, and there's no loading. Like, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's fucking cool. My problem just playing through it a little bit, I really wish it just was Mario Odyssey controls and not 3D All-Star or the 3D World, because like it's a little weird to have to hold the run button and also move the camera.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know what I really want to see?
What's up?
An open world game like that, like what you guys are describing, 3D Mario, collect the MacGuffins, except it's Galaxy 3. And in order to get between planets and planets, you use the Fly Star power-up. And you can like use that to, like, once you get outside of a planet's atmosphere, then it like changes to a different like flying gameplay. You get to zip between galaxies. That'd be so much fun.
It needs to control much better, but
yeah.
The Galaxy games are, I mean, listen, I haven't played them that much, but they're pretty linear, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take Galaxy.
I don't think I'd want a linear game like that.
No, I'm saying take Galaxy and use the Fly Star power-up to make it not linear and have all the galaxies in one map.
But it would still basically be linear levels on each galaxy, just interconnected with flying.
Well, no. If they're gonna do that, the planets would be designed differently.
So take Mario Galaxy
and completely redo everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys are not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying it would be like Mario Galaxy, except you would control which planets you go to. And the planets would obviously be designed for this purpose.
You are good at Galaxy, but you don't want launch stars and you want to be able to fly to any planet in any order.
Yes.
That'd be so disorienting.
Solid.
Yeah.
Miitopia!
Cool Mii Maker. I don't have it.
Me neither. if it's really just the 3DS version with horses and better Mii Makers, I don't see how it could be bad. Don't think it should be full price, but...
Oh, it's $50. It's actually more than the 3DS version, but less than a typical Switch release.
Not great still, but fine.
You know, it makes me really hope for a Tomodachi Life port.
There's no way they're gonna put all this effort into this Mii Maker overhaul and not do Tomodachi as well.
This is Nintendo we're talking about. They're the kings of missed opportunities.
Absolutely.
It just seems like Miitopia was Tomodachi Life's spiritual successor anyways.
Just in this discussion, we've talked about like so many different missed opportunities. Like Mario Maker 2's extra themes, Smash Ultimate, Paper Mario, 3D All-Stars.
I love Nintendo! Woohoo!
Woo!
Well, I mean, this is basically the wrapping up point. I mean, Miitopia literally came out last Friday. I mean, I guess the follow-up to this discussion really is our E3 predictions, because E3 still hasn't happened.
But we've already done that.
We already did that.
I know, so for viewers. Right.
Oh.
Alright, well, we always do like an official outro, but I always cut it at a funny bit anyways, but thanks for tuning in, guys. Xander, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me as Xanderoni on Twitter and YouTube.
Alright,
hang on. I have a good outro. Tell me Nier Automata isn't a sequel.
Dude, you know that's like not a sequel, bro.
What the fuck?
Wait, Nier Automata is a sequel.
Nier Automata is a sequel.
Fuck.
We went over this last time. You messed up your own show. You messed up your own show.